Hi there, and welcome to our presentation about the Merge Cube, a technology plan for Inks Lake Public Library, a presentation by Kimberly McCune, Julie Piller, Emily Williams, and Kyla Radiker James. Let's get started. Inks Lake Public Library is located in Inks Lake, Texas, and is part of the Burnett County Public Library System. This library is in a suburban neighborhood with a population of approximately 258,000. The Inks Lake Public Library building is 15,000 square feet. It was built in 1986 and renovated in 2001. The library's primary values are access, lifelong learning, and service. The library ensures that information is readily, equally, and equitably accessible to all library users. It promotes the creation, maintenance, and enhancement of a learning society and provides lifelong learning services to all. It strives to provide the highest level of service to all library users. The Inks Lake Public Library provides the following up-to-date technology to its users: public computers for the library catalog and internet access, Chromebooks and wireless hotspots that are able to be circulated, iPads for in-house use and circulation, and a makerspace. Staff are constantly looking for new innovative technologies to offer to their library users. Inks Lake Public Library has a staff that is excited to meet the needs of the community. They have discovered that their users desire hands-on learning resources to encourage digital literacy, as well as more resources for homeschool students. According to Dell Technologies, quote, "Every student should be afforded the opportunity to have access to today's technology, as well as an understanding of how to use it. This allows them to be an informed learner while empowering them to have a more active role in an increasingly digital world." End quote. The National Center for Educational Statistics published a survey from 2012 which showed that 70% of homeschooled parents cite the public library as their most valued resource. As a result of this need, the staff have prioritized finding resources to connect with homeschooled students and their families. The Gonzalez family represents a portion of the demographic that makes up Burnett County. John and Marisol moved to Inks Lake in 2017 to live the suburban life. John is a plumber and Marisol is a stay-at-home mom. They want to provide the best life for Isabella, their 10-year-old daughter. Marisol and John decided to homeschool Isabella because they believe it's the best way to ensure she is receiving a quality education. The Gonzalez family is a member of the Texas Home Educators Group and is always looking for new ways to keep their fourth grader interested in school. Technology is embraced in this household. Marisol and John have cell phones and their own laptops, while Isabella has a tablet she uses to play games and complete school projects. Through our research, we found a product that fulfills the needs in our community. We are not the first library to utilize this technology, giving us a foundation to build off of. The plan explains the solution to the fullest, mentions the libraries we followed, and details how Inks Lake Public Library will successfully introduce the change to our patrons. This is the Merge Cube. It uses new augmented reality technology to bring whatever students are studying to life. Let's take a look at how it works. The Merge Cube becomes whatever object you're trying to study. This allows students to have a multisensory learning experience that will help them learn and retain information. If you're using a virtual reality headset, it can even trick your brain into thinking you're actually holding a human brain, an Egyptian sarcophagus, a plant cell, or whatever you're learning about in the palm of your hand. The Merge Cube works by bringing the subject to life in the palm of your hand. As you can see, there are many different apps to choose from. Let's take a look at the Object Viewer app. If Marisol is struggling to teach her daughter about the water cycle or the solar system, the Merge Cube can be an excellent resource to help her bring the subjects to life. As you can see, there is a wide variety of subjects available to study in just one app. Let's say Isabella wanted to learn about prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. In addition to being able to hold an animal cell in her hand, Marisol can also make the image larger or smaller. She also has the ability to stamp an image into place, to compare it to other objects, walk around and observe it from different angles, and click on individual parts of the object to learn more. Being able to see these objects in space, some of them true to size, helps those hands-on learners visualize things in different ways. According to Samantha Fekich, merge cubes have the ability to, quote, meet students where they are, end quote, and Merge Labs, the business behind the product, list among its assets the ability to provide multisensory and extraspatial experiences. Rosengrant et al. Studied a classroom using merge cubes to learn about force and motion and found that while there was an initial learning curve for instructors and students alike, both groups were receptive to and engaged in their ability to learn about the subject in the virtual environment. Inks Lake Public Library has an engaged staff that are willing to reach users in new and innovative ways, and the library itself is already offering a variety of contemporary technologies. However, some staff do have difficulty keeping up with and adapting to these new technologies. The library itself cannot always afford the newest version of hardware, and the novelties of these purchases does carry the danger of wearing off, so the popularity of an item may fall off after an initial fervor. Mitigations can be placed for these weaknesses. Additional training can relieve staff's discomfort with new technology. Grant applications can fund the purchases of new and exciting technologies, and staff-led programming utilizing these technologies can keep interest high among patrons. New technology presents the opportunity to partner with other local organizations and to introduce more families into the library, thus increasing participation and circulation across the board. The librarians at Inks Lake Public Library face the difficulty of community buy-in from technology that is seen as too new or intimidating. A lack of internet access for patrons outside of the physical library building, and the threat of technology items that circulate being lost, stolen, or irreparably damaged. These threats can also be mitigated. When technology programs align with the library's previously mentioned values of access, lifelong learning, and service, participation surges. The library offers internet hotspots for circulation to combat lack of access, and policies to cover lost, stolen, and damaged items protect the library's investment. With this technology plan, Inks Lake Public Library would have enough resources to be checked out and used in-house. Librarians would place merge cubes and their VR headsets in the makerspace, use the meeting rooms for any in-person programs that incorporated the cubes, and have virtual merge cube demonstrations in Google Meet or Zoom. Our budget for the merge cube is well beneath the $5,000 limit for this grant. In emailing with Merge representative Gail Simons, we received a quote from them. This budget is based on that correspondence. The total for this entire project is $4,695.50. A successful launch of the Merge Cube program at Inks Lake Public Library depends on effective marketing. One of the most efficient ways to put new ideas out to patrons is social media. Library staff can record and share demonstrations on a variety of platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Marketing messages via the library newsletter can also be utilized. Another free but powerful way to reach the community is by having a physical presence at local festivals and farmers markets. Offering the public a chance to watch demonstrations of and try out the Merge Cube in person can pique their interests in the program and encourage them to visit the library to learn more. Once the Merge Cube program is ready to launch, we can invite local officials, the media, and all patrons to a party at the Inks Lake Public Library to kick off the initiative in a substantial and memorable way. So, what does the implementation of this plan look like? How will we assess the program's success and enduring legacy? Before the launch of the program, a focus group with current users can gauge their impression of the Merge Cubes before their implementation. This can happen on or around March 1st, 2023, the same time that the Cube's VR headset and storage cases arrive. By mid-March, the materials should arrive and cataloging can begin. The first staff training will also begin upon the arrival of the materials. By the 1st of April, upon the conclusion of the first staff meeting, online and local marketing demonstrations can begin and continue through the month. Another training will take place at the end of April, around the time the guests are invited to the launch party. The Merge Cube launch party will take place on or around May 15th, 2023, with programming and circulation to follow immediately after. The programming will continue for a 6-month period, but 3 months in a second focus group will gauge the public's reception of the program. At the end of the 6th-month trial in November 2023, the circulation and programming numbers will be gathered, and a third and final focus group will complete the assessment of our success. We have already mentioned utilizing focus groups and circulation numbers to assess the success of the implementation of the Merge Cube program at Inks Lake Public Library. Merge Cube programming is predicted to bring a larger number of people into the library. Focus groups will allow us to hear directly from patrons and participants in order to tweak the program to better meet their needs. Circulation numbers are already stored by the library and will be a straightforward calculation of the popularity of the program. With this plan, Inks Lake Public Library will continue their legacy of anticipating and serving the needs of its community. The Merge Cube can be used by homeschooled groups, library staff, and local schools to create engaging and dynamic learning programs. It is engaging, versatile, and demonstrated to be an effective learning tool. Thank you for viewing our presentation. We hope you enjoyed learning about the Merge Cube.